The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's David Schmidt, and welcome to our training webinar. This week, probably no surprise, we are going to be talking about the X39. So we are going to be making a brief presentation here, and then afterwards you can ask whatever questions that you might have about this product. Or if you'd like to ask a question about another product, that would be fine as well. Of course, we are still in the pre-launch phase of X39. We are going to have the official launch on January 19th from Austria, and it will be at this event that we are going to be revealing exactly what the X39 does. So lots of information to share there, and I can assure you, you are going to find it extraordinarily interesting, and you're going to love some of the additional benefits that you're getting from the X39. Now, we will go ahead and get started. One other thing I did want to mention is that each Monday we do update LifeWaveX39.com. This was updated again this week with additional testimonials. Since we released the product during pre-launch on July 2nd, each week we have received new testimonials. This has to do with improvement in energy and sleep and wound healing and pain relief, really great effects. And so we want to share those with all of you each week. So keep checking back at LifeWaveX39.com. We have a separate testimonials page, and you can find out the latest. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. So, of course, today we are going to be talking about the X39, which people are referring to as our stem cell patch. And there's, of course, a lot more to it than simply activating stem cells, which we're going to get into today. But first, for the benefit of those people that are new, we are going to talk about how our technology works. This is just going to be a very brief overview. We are growing very rapidly now as a company, and many people are not familiar with our patch technology. So let's talk about this. So LifeWave technology is a non-transdermal phototherapy patch. This is not a drug. It's not a delivery system where we're putting a drug or nutrient into the body. There's no nutritional supplements involved. What we're doing is stimulating the skin with light. And we're going to talk about exactly how this works and, of course, how you can benefit from this. Now, the patch can be applied just about anywhere. In the case of the X39, the recommendations that we give is to apply it behind the neck or just below the belly button. But let's say that you had a sore shoulder. Well, you could apply the X39 right to the pain or the site of the injury. Or if you had a knee problem, you could also put the X39 there. Let's say we've had some great testimonials on using the X39 to relieve migraine headaches. That could be placed right on the right temple. It could be placed in the center of the head, wherever you care to do that. But regardless of where you put the X39, it's going to work. So it's very, very simple to use. And for business building, you just apply it. There's not much training involved. So let's talk about how this is working. This layer up over here would be the patch. You apply the patch to the surface of the skin, and it's immediately activated by body heat. Now, keep in mind that body heat is a form of light. It's infrared energy. So this activates the patch. The patch then will begin to stimulate the surface of the skin with light. So in other words, the patch is going to reflect light and stimulate the skin. And we can see this over here. What we do with the patch is that it reflects very specific wavelengths of light onto the skin, and this is going to stimulate the nerves on the surface of the skin. And this in turn will cause a biochemical change in the body. So let's give a practical example. We go out in the sun, and the sunlight, the UV light, will cause the production of vitamin D. This is really the same thing. We're just using different wavelengths of light to cause different biochemical changes in the body. And in the case of the X39, we are activating stem cells. So the big question then is, what benefits can you get from using the X39? Well, the first thing to know is one of the advantages of LifeWave products is that we can use the technology to increase or elevate the production of compounds that are already in our body but usually decline with age. So let's use an example. Our bodies already contain antioxidants like glutathione and SOD. Glutathione is the body's master antioxidant. And as we age, the production of glutathione goes down. And glutathione is so important that how long we live is directly connected to our body's glutathione levels. Actually, it's been found that people that live past the age of 100, they all have elevated levels of glutathione. So a number of years ago, back in 2006, I created a patch to elevate the body's glutathione levels. So the X39 is very similar. The X39 is capable of elevating naturally occurring compounds in the body that would normally decline with age. But in the case of the X39, this is an entirely new category of products for us because of how it works and what it does. So in the case of the X39, it's going to elevate a peptide that's known to activate stem cells. There's actually a lot more going on with this product, but we're going to get into the details on that in January. But let's just focus on the stem cell benefits because there are many and the benefits are truly incredible. So first thing about our products and about the X39 is that they produce an immediate effect. Now this makes sense because we're not trying to put a vitamin pill or an herb into the body, so there's no reason why we have to wait. We're simply stimulating the skin with light and we get an immediate response. So in the case of the X39, one of the things it will do is increase the production of antioxidants. By elevating antioxidants, we can also decrease inflammation. So what people will notice their very first day of using the X39 is a general feeling of well-being and improvement in their energy and vitality. As a matter of fact, this is one of the most common benefits that people report with the X39 is an improvement in energy levels. Now, let's say you take someone that has an injury. During the first few days of using the X39, they could get a decrease in their energy levels. This is something to be aware of. The reason for this could be one of a few things. First, the need for water goes up when using X39, so you should stay very well hydrated. Water is necessary for energy metabolism, and it's necessary and involved in everything in the body, including repair of injury. So sometimes people can become dehydrated when using the X39, and then that would make them feel a bit fatigued. Another thing that occurs from using the X39 is that it's going to help increase the speed at which our body heals. And this is important. This is called anabolic metabolism. Well, 80% of the time when we're in anabolic metabolism, it's going to be in the evening. So in other words, our hormones change and they shift to a mode of repairing damage. So this could put us into a calm and relaxed state, which could feel like fatigue, but it's really not. It's the body going into a deep state of relaxation. And this will, when the body is healing, then eventually this will go away and people will experience more energy. And of course, this doesn't really show up as being wired like on caffeine, but it's more like you feel very steady, calm levels of energy throughout the day. Now, another extraordinary benefit with the X39 is the improvement in the quality of sleep. We're actually doing a clinical study on this right now, and people report that their sleep is incredibly deep, and they're also increasing the length of time that they sleep. This is because the X39 produces a shift in the hormonal chemistry in the brain, and this is something that we're measuring. So this leads to an improvement in sleep. And again, this is all related to how the body heals from injury. Now, some of the best testimonials we have on X39 have to do with dramatic pain relief. And in most cases, the pain relief occurs within minutes of use. Now, something that's important to know, because we already have several products that help manage pain, such as LifeWave, Eon, and glutathione. But X39 is very different. In fact, you could apply an X39 patch to the back of the neck and get pain relief just about anywhere on your body. So again, from a business building point of view, this makes it incredibly simple. In other words, if someone is suffering with pain, you could simply apply the patch to the back of the neck, below the belly button, or if the person wants to, directly at the point of pain. Now, one thing that's important to know is that sometimes the pain will temporarily increase. This is totally normal, and let me explain what's going on with this. When there is an injury to the body, inflammation is required to tear down the old damaged tissue. So that's the purpose that inflammation serves. Stem cells are actually attracted to inflammation, and then they can begin to heal the body and generate new, normal, healthy tissue. So if someone has an injury and they apply the X39, they could temporarily have a mild increase in pain from an increase in inflammation that's associated with the healing process. So if it's only a mild pain, they could simply leave the patch on if they can tolerate it, or if the pain is too severe, they could remove the product and then drink water and apply it later when it's a little bit more manageable. But wanted to let you know that this is a normal part of the healing process. Now, this is exciting, wrinkle reduction. I had someone who hadn't seen me who I saw the other day, who hadn't seen me in a while, say, wow, I could really notice that your skin has become more tight and firm. And of course, I really enjoyed getting that compliment. But we do have many people that report to us that they are seeing a reduction in the appearance of lines and wrinkles. And this is really easy to understand because collagen, which is the most abundant protein in the body, collagen production is increased when you activate stem cells. So in other words, when there's any type of injury in the body, or when stem cells are creating new cells, collagen is required. So when we activate our stem cells, we make them more active, more efficient. This is going to lead to an increase in production in collagen, and one of the benefits that we get from this is a reduction in the appearance of lines and wrinkles. Now, many people start to notice this within the first few weeks of using the X39. So 2, 3, 4 weeks is all it takes. But I'd recommend staying on the product 8 to 12 weeks to really see the full benefits. And you'll love it because the benefits continue to get better. Now, when we exercise, the goal is to damage the muscle. We don't really think of this as that being the process, but when we run, when we do calisthenics, when we weight lift, do Pilates, whatever it might be, The goal is to put enough stress on the muscle so the muscle damages. It's when the body repairs the muscle that the muscle becomes stronger. So now it becomes obvious that since stem cells are repairing the muscle, if we're improving the way stem cells work in the body, we are going to increase the speed at which we recover from exercise. As a matter of fact, one of our leaders said that he thought he was healing in real time after exercise with the X39. The other thing that comes with this, of course, is if we're recovering from exercise more quickly, that means our sports performance also has the opportunity to improve more quickly as well. I'm sure we're going to do a study just on this particular feature of the X39 in the future. Now, hair growth is a fascinating one, and we have gotten a number of testimonials on people saying, oh my gosh, I'm getting new hair. This is not a coincidence, and it's not your imagination. There have been independent clinical studies done in the field of stem cells, not with our X39 patch, but in the field of stem cells, where when you apply stem cell growth factors to the scalp, you get new hair growth. So there is a scientific basis for this. We are not engaged in a clinical study at the moment on this, but we are keeping watch over it, and it may be something we do in the future, but something to keep in mind. Now, there is a phenomena called remodeling, and this is extremely interesting because it has to do with a reduction in the appearance of scars. So we can think of scars as being a distortion of the structure of the skin. Now, we already know that stem cells are wonderful at elevating collagen production for improving repair, and this is where reduction in the appearance of scars comes in. There's another phenomena called remodeling, which as the skin is replaced, now we can help to support the repair of the structure of the skin. And this will lead to a reduction in the appearance of scars. Now, by far, some of the most dramatic, I'd say the most dramatic testimonials we get on X39 are in the area of wound healing. And of course, this is not surprising because when we think of stem cells, this is exactly what we think of, healing the body from injury. Now, wound healing, of course, is a natural process. When a part of our body is injured, stem cells come to the rescue to start to repair the injury. Now, of course, this healing process is not 100% effective because some injuries we get in our life never heal. And that's going to change, by the way, in our lifetime. We'll see injuries that were previously not able to be healed can be healed with stem cell science. I'm not making a medical claim, by the way, on the X39. Just want to be clear about that. So clinical research has already proven that elevation of the compound that the X39 is elevating causes stem cells to elevate production of growth factors that lead to these increased rates of wound healing. So you could say that the X39 helps to support the natural wound healing process. And I definitely encourage you to go to our website, LifeWaveX39.com, and you can see some of the incredible healing experiences that people have had with this product. Okay, this is my personal favorite. Well, wound healing and youth renewal are definitely my personal favorites because we are an anti-aging company and we are moving to be not only in anti-aging but also in youth renewal. What does this mean? Okay, in our body we have about 19,000 genes that are associated with proteins, that manufacture proteins. And as we age, we begin to lose access to information in our DNA This is one of the ways that we could describe the aging process. Now, what's so exciting about the X39 is youth renewal, that we can actually reset thousands of genes in the body, in the DNA, to a younger state. This is a very simple way of saying that we could expect by resetting these genes to a younger state that we'll have better health and vitality. And as you might expect, other benefits as well. So we're going to go to questions now, but I definitely encourage you to go to LifeWaveX39.com, and we have an entire page of testimonials there that you should definitely check out. Now, if you're new to LifeWave, what you should do next is get in touch with the person that sent you here today. Learn more about our products, learn more about our opportunity, and how you can get started improving your health and vitality today and building a business right from your own home with LifeWave and the X39. And of course, you can visit LifeWaveX39.com for more information on this product. Okay, so let's go to some questions now. And you can either raise your hand and I will unmute your microphone, or if you prefer, you can write in a question, and I see we have quite a few questions already, so we'll see what we can do here. Okay, do some people report getting dehydrated by the patches? Yes, as a matter of fact. When we are increasing cellular energy and we are increasing the rate of wound repair or healing, this is going to require that we have more water. When we're elevating our antioxidants and we are removing toxins like heavy metals, this puts a demand on our body for hydration. So definitely when people are using the patches, they should be increasing the amount of water that they drink. Some people are reporting having to drink double the amount of water that they would normally drink. And you can always use kind of a guideline as well. Half your body weight in ounces in water is one guideline that people use. Okay, what could be, thank you for the nice compliment, what could be the reason for blotching or severe redness in the area of the patching? Well, actually, there could be several different possibilities here. One is in 1 in 10,000 people, they have an allergy to the adhesive. Now, the adhesive in the patches is hypoallergenic. We get it from 3M, and it's the same adhesive that's used in Band-Aids. So only about 1 in 10,000 people will have an allergic reaction to the adhesive. Another thing that happens is that toxins can be pulled through the skin, which will cause some irritation. Another possibility is that the patch could be left on the skin for longer than 12 hours, and this would cause a heat rash, which would cause some redness around the area. So it could be one of a few things. Another thing that could happen is that some people have very sensitive skin, and when you apply the patch every day, this could irritate the skin. So simply try moving the patch to a different part of the body. Okay, it has been stated if using Eon and glutathione not to use the X39 because they reduce inflammation. So instead to use before or after X39. If used before, wouldn't that still hinder X39 since inflammation has been reduced? The answer is yes, maybe. It depends on the nature of the injury. Now, one thing that we want to look at, this is in one way a bit of a contradiction, but it's the way the body works. So a certain amount of inflammation is required to repair injury. So when we reduce the inflammation, aren't we hindering the healing process? No, not exactly. Let me explain. In a health disorder like arthritis, where we have chronic inflammation, the reason why people experience pain in their joints, reduction in overall mobility, is that the body cannot remove this excess amount of inflammation. So if we use a product like Eon, we can reduce this inflammation, the excess, and people can get pain relief. Now, bear in mind, not all of the inflammation is gone. We're simply managing the excess inflammation. So, one thing we may find in the future is that using the Eon patch at night and using the X39 during the day accelerates the rate of healing, because you see, it's inflammation that also destroys stem cells. So once the stem cell gets to the injury site, the stem cell starts to die in the presence of the inflammation. But the inflammation also causes the stem cell to release its growth factors, which heal the injury. It's a bit of, in one way, it seems like a bit of a paradox, but it all makes sense. So in any case, using the Eon patch in the evening and X39 during the day may turn out to be the best way to do it. Okay. For pain relief and dependence on pain meds, should I recommend X39, SP6, and Eon to get off the pain meds and resolve the pain? Okay, so first of all, I make the statement, I'm not a medical doctor, and we don't make any medical claims about our products. So if someone has a dependence on pain medication, they should work with their medical doctor and inform them about our products and make sure that there's no issue. We would recommend this for any type of medication. So in this particular case, one thing to understand, and this is documented in clinical research with phototherapy, is that the receptors for pain relief are basically the same whether or not you're using a drug or you're using light. So in other words, light and pain medication will compete with one another. So here would be something that you could try. Let's say that you were taking a pain medication and it was going to last for 6 hours. Perhaps about 5 hours after you take the pain medication, apply the patches. You may or may not see pain relief at that point, depending on how that's going. But once the pain medication starts to wear off at the 6-hour mark, now the patches have an opportunity to work without being interfered with by the pain medication. Very often also, when people take pain medication and they don't get relief, they'll apply the patches and find that the patches will work better than the pain meds. So this requires a little bit of experimentation. But again, in this case, I'd still recommend using the Eon patch in the evening and X39 during the day. Another product that you can try as well would be Nirvana. Nirvana is for improvement in mood. Sorry, getting mood and wound there messed up. So improvement in mood. But one of the things that Nirvana will do is increase production of beta endorphins, which are extremely powerful pain relievers. As a matter of fact, beta endorphins are somewhere between 18 and 30% stronger than morphine. So definitely, with someone that has chronic pain and they're on pain meds, I would take a look at Nirvana. Does the body activate more stem cells when one uses multiple X39s at one time? We don't know the answer to this yet. In the clinical studies that we're doing, we are only using one X39 patch, and the results are fantastic. So this may be a case of diminishing returns. In other words, you could end up getting 80% of your benefits from one patch and maybe another 10 or 20% benefit from a second patch. We don't know the answer to this yet, but for most people, using one patch is enough. For remodeling, do you place X39 on the scar or traditional locations? So we received in a testimonial from France the other day that was extraordinary. This was a person that had open heart surgery. The scar went almost the length of their upper torso, and they placed an x39 right along the scar, and you saw that the entire length of the scar healed. So this would be to say that we don't have a clinical study on this yet, but I would place the x39 directly along the scar. Although there is evidence that using the traditional locations would work as well. But more on that in January. All right, we are at the bottom of the hour. I'll see if I can get through some more, but there's an awful lot of questions here. Okay, I've got the 10-pack sample. What can I expect to accomplish within that short period of time? Well, within the first few days, if not the first day of using the x39, people can experience more energy, better sleep, and pain relief. We've also had fantastic testimonials that people who had injuries started to see the injury heal within 10 days. So actually quite a bit. Now, if it's a long-term chronic injury, you may or may not see a result within 10 days. Our experience has shown that those type of injuries, people can see results within 10 days, but really takes about 3 to 4 weeks. So you should start to see an effect within 10 days, but if you don't be discouraged. Can we put on 2 x39s per day? Yes, you can, but it may not be necessary. Is the x39 a more positive patch than you can combine with the tan patch, for example? Yes, I would say if you wanted to look at it that way, longtime LifeWave users know what I'm referring to. But yes, if you wanted to think of the x39 as being a positive patch, that would be correct. Are there contraindications? No, not in the traditional sense. So in other words, there's not adverse reactions to this like you would have with a medication. You could get a Herxheimer's reaction or a detoxification effect, or the pain relief effect that I described previously. So in other words, when the body is healing, if it's doing it very rapidly, if it's dumping toxins, people could experience this as fatigue, nausea, or a headache. So in this event of a Herxheimer's reaction, simply remove the patch and drink a lot of water, and that will go away. Getting asked a number of questions here about treating medical conditions. So I'm sorry we can't make any recommendations about that. We don't make any claims that our product treats any type of medical condition. The x39 only has 2 recommended application sites. Will that number be increased? No, not really. Placing it behind the neck or below the belly button is good for the entire body. If you would like to experiment and place it at other locations, that's fine. So in other words, if someone had a knee injury and they wanted to apply the patch at the knee, they could certainly do that. Okay, going to have to wrap this up very soon. Do you wear the patch and use the pill at the same time? I'm assuming you're referring to Nirvana, and the answer would be yes. When will this webinar be posted in our back office? Actually, this webinar will be posted within the next day or so, and it gets posted to our YouTube channel. And you can reach that just by going to the footer of our website, lifewave.com, clicking on YouTube, and it'll take you right to our YouTube channel. Okay, that maybe one more question. If a person whose hip cartilage has disappeared, is there any chance x39 might restore the cartilage? We don't have a clinical study about that. However, we have many reports from users that are using the x39 where they had repair of the knee, and that's when they were bone on bone. So can't verify that they got cartilage restored, although it certainly appears that way. What I'd also recommend doing if you're trying to repair cartilage is take a collagen supplement, because collagen protein provides all the amino acids your body needs to manufacture cartilage, And I might also recommend you take vitamin C, because vitamin C is involved in cartilage repair as well. X39 by itself might do it though. But if you wanted to play it safe, I'd say take a collagen supplement, about 10 grams of collagen protein per day. All right, so we are at the bottom of the hour, so need to close this out. Want to thank all of you for being here today. Thank you for your interest in X39, and you can look forward towards more information on X39 coming out each week. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.